Before we get started, let me say that I am holding a Q&A for my 1250 subscriber special, so put in your questions in the comment section of the video linked in the description. Now, I did say in the video that I will be answering these questions via a live stream, but I have changed my mind and the answers will be in the form of an edited video because I've already come up with some different jokes and visual gags that I might be able to throw in there that I couldn't do in a live stream, while the live stream itself will be separate and will still be taking place on July 10th. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Well, let's take a look at my private messages here real quick, shall we? What do we have? A commentary request on DanMad297. Yeah, sorry, but no. Sir Raven was pretty clear in his commentary that this guy has not improved since his first video, and really, what purpose would there be in commentating on the bastard child of Death Critic, Flippy Invader, and Fluke Dog? Then I have a request to make a video on Darkness the Curse's video about the Xbox One. While tempting, this would be pretty much unnecessary since Xbox decided to retcon everything they said at E3, which would make the video pointless. Even if I do think it is pathetic that Darkness got so pissed off and offended because someone called him an idiot on the internet. Let that sink in real quick, everyone. Darkness the Curse got offended that people were calling him an idiot on the internet. Then we have, oh crap, a request from the 31st that I said I would do like 3 weeks ago, and I have yet to do so. Better late than ever, I always say. It's always best to keep people waiting for an entire month, right?
She's a tall glass of water. She's a sip of lemonade. She's a cup of hot Darjeeling tea. She's a cold tang in the shade. She's an oatmeal cookie. She's a crumb nap Melbourne toast. She's a cream in an Oreo. That's the part that I like the most. She's a handful of bear nuts. She's a cold bottle of Schlitz. She's a little tub of Pepto-Bismol whenever I get there. How you doing? All right.
I would like to introduce you all to Beastly Eevee, a young lady who has just recently started making videos and has reached out to me for some criticism. And being who I am, I will give this feedback in the form of a video because I'm the kind of asshole who just doesn't care anymore. The video that she really wanted me to comment on, we will get to in a little bit because I would like to first just look at the channel in particular. As I said, she has just started making videos on the tubes of the U, and she is an aspiring commentator. Though she removed her first commentary, from what I can tell, she still does have her second commentary on a young man talking about anime, and as we all know, anime is something that I can get into. I really shouldn't use those types of pictures when I say that sort of thing, should I? I should really be using pictures like this! Overall, her scripting is pretty good, and she seems to be able to raise up relatively fair points that can stand on their own and work. I see potential for good commentaries from Beastly Eevee, and well, it would be nice to have someone else vying for the greatly desired seat of the next Danny, since the only person I can think of that even qualifies at this moment is Scarlet Otaku, and she really needs some good competition to spice things up. Though, none of them will ever take Danny's place in my heart. Oh, Danny. Moving on, she also dabbles in the realm of dramatic readings, which I have taken the time to watch a few, and overall, she seems to do a decent job there as well. Though I can tell there is some work to be done in her skills at being unscripted, which could be said for pretty much anyone who wishes to make unscripted videos, except for me, of course, because I'm the all-powerful unscripted prince! Ha 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 ha! Now that I'm done distracting myself from the actual video in question, let's get to what she really wanted feedback on. This video. A response to Richie Fruit Bat and Cheshire Cass. With this video, there are many things to be said, and since I just finished teaching a few associates at work on how to swim, speaking with impact and motivation for anyone that doesn't know, which is probably most and every last one of you, I always start this with a few critiques on her presentation abilities themselves. Overall, the scripting is pretty good. There were some times where she ended up stumbling, but never to a point where it was completely diverging from the main point of the video, and never in a way where her overall intended result was hampered. The biggest item was in the actual presentation of the script. There were many times where she would have extended pauses within the video that really shouldn't have had to been there, mainly because it was a video that contained only audio, which meant that it would be easy to remove the pauses that existed via video editing. To leave these in when reading from a script leaves the impression that you are unsure of what you are saying, which can have a negative impact on the presentation itself that you were making. The strangest thing is that I could tell that the video was clearly edited, yet many extended pauses were missed during this process. There were also a few times where she stumbled over her own words or put in what I like to call comfort words. Those would be and on a very regular occasion, the word so. When you utilize comfort words, it once again will put across the idea that you don't know what you're speaking about, or you yourself are not 100% certain when it comes to what you're saying. Now, as for the content of the video itself, I'm going to start speaking to Beastly Eevee directly at this point. You seem to have done the appropriate research necessary to make your points, but even with that, you will come across people who would not always agree with you, especially when you speak on subjects such as global warming and religion. Mind you, I don't agree with global warming, but I do understand the truth behind the concept of climate changes, which in my opinion is the truth behind the theories of global warming. Now, the main subject of your response was regarding to how the people in question decided to make fun of your beliefs based on Christianity itself, and on the deity that Christianity is based. While I think you had relatively good points in your defense and have a strong grasp on what the Bible says, the whole situation was brought on by yourself. This is where I will become a bit more critical of, well, you as it were. You stated that the whole debacle began on a video about vegans and how they are the super race, which makes me think you were actually watching Onision, and you eventually bring up the point that the Bible says that you can enjoy whatever food you like. No, I'm not quoting you verbatim right here. That was an unnecessary point to bring up in this discussion. There are many other points that can be used that have facts and evidence behind them, both scientifically and physically and physiologically, to prove this stance that you are holding, that just because you are a vegan doesn't mean you are a superhuman and you are on the perfect dietary plan. There is a rule that many people know, and it is as follows. There are 3 things you never talk about in public: religion, politics, and D&D 4.0 versus 3.5 during an anime convention. The reason is that these subjects will 90% of the time begin an argument, and in the end run will make the person who brought up that subject look bad. The argument of religion has no real standing in a conversation about veganism. It is just as asinine as, say, going into a discussion about Christianity versus Buddhism and randomly saying that I am a vegan, so I am right. That is in essence what you did. By saying what you did, you in essence told them that because you are a Christian, you know better than they do. That doesn't work very well, and remember, this is coming from a fellow Christian. That argument will never get you anywhere in a debate against an agnostic, an atheist, or someone of a different religious belief. That is the reason why I tell people that if you want to hold to your Christian beliefs and fight against, say, the idea of homosexual marriage, to find evidence outside of the Bible as to why it is wrong and shouldn't be allowed, because you won't get anywhere if you don't. Both parties in your argument ended up coming off as if they believe that they are the true shit, and nothing will ever change that. You are arguing a battle of opinions, and ended up giving yourself a huge handicap by bringing up religion. If you would have just kept to the facts and evidence behind vegan diets and how those are not truly 100% good for you, then you would have had a stronger leg to stand on. But you decided to bring in Christianity and religion, which is where you hurt yourself. Now, please don't get me wrong. I am not telling you that you should not stand by your beliefs based in Christianity. I am just saying that you should know when and where to raise certain arguments and defenses. I will now step off of my soapbox and give my overall thoughts on this video itself before closing out my little presentation, if you will. Overall, you are a well-spoken young lady and seem to know what you're talking about. Though if you don't know what you're talking about, you seem to be the kind of person who will do the research necessary to come to an educated conclusion. I honestly think that you could do well in the ranting community or pretty much any other community you wish to take part in. The main thing I have to say is just remember when the God defense will actually work out in your favor. In this day and age, and with the amount of knowledge that is out there that is free to get to, there are very few times where this will happen. But it does happen every now and then. So everyone, this is the Professor, and I bid you all a very fine adieu. And to Beastly Eevee, I hope you enjoy what I had to say, or at least we'll be able to take something from it. Now to everyone else, a link to her channel is in the description of this video if you wish to check her out. That came out completely wrong. I don't even know how old she is, and here I am telling people to check her out that might even be like twice her age. She could be 15 years old for all I know. Dear God. Note to self. Choose your words more carefully from now on.